Hi everybody, this is Sterling McGarvey from GamesRadar.
And Dave Rudden from Official Xbox Magazine.
And Brett Elston from Capcom Unity.
And we'd like to welcome you to our Resident Evil 6 Xbox Live demo live stream. So, jumping into demo that just came out earlier this morning on live. If you picked up a copy of Dragon's Dogma, you have a download code. Do you have a preference, Dave? Would you like to play
I played as Leon during E3, so I'll take the role of Helena.
Okay.
This time. Oh.
Ah, you know what? Because we are literally booting this up the first time. It looks like we have to do it solo.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the cool things. Is whenever you select one of the campaigns, you can choose which character you want to play as, kind of from the start. So it's kind of neat.
Do you want to play from the flip side then, Dave? Do you want to take Helena for this one? I'll take Chris for the next one.
Oh, we're able to do co-op on the same screen?
I don't know if you can, but... Well,
I think he's doing solo in this case.
Yeah, you're playing solo.
Oh, well, yeah, you've got the... I can't control it, so... Totally do Helena, though. I mean, I'll totally be Helena.
I'm going to reword that sentence.
Yeah.
There's your move set.
Well, that's a nice old reference noise.
Bioorganic weapons are a global threat. Start working with the rest of the world. Raccoon City. We have to come to my desire to reveal. I'm going to tell them. It might create more problems than it's time to take responsibility. We want to have any chance. I've always valued your friendship, Leon.
Stay right where you are. Mr. President! Don't make me do this.
It's all my fault. I did this.
What are you talking about?
Tolok's Cathedral. I'll explain everything there, Agent Kennedy.
How do you know my name?
Yes?
Hunnigan.
Thank God you're both all right.
How do you two know each other?
That's Helena Harper. She's been with the Secret Service since last year. I can't tell you how good it is to hear you two are all right. Look, I hate to rush introductions, but I need a report on your situation.
I just shot the president.
He had already been infected by the time we found him. Leon did what he had to. He saved my life.
God help us. All right, I'll submit the report. You two just focus on getting the hell out of there. The virus has already spread 3 miles past the campus perimeter, and it's not slowing down. You need to hurry.
Not before we check out Tolok's Cathedral. Agent Kennedy's got a lead that might tell us who's responsible for this.
Leon, is that true?
Yeah. I think I might have something.
Roger that. I'll map out the safest access route. Keep your radio on.
I got a lead?
You will if you come with me.
Come with me if you want to lead.
So this is actually the beginning of Leon's campaign proper, so it's kind of a cool introduction. So that kind of explains a little bit why the first half of the demo is kind of very paced and very deliberate. It is because this is actually how you would start the game. Like, Leon's just shot the president. You've got to get out.
Adam, I'm sorry.
And then as the demo rolls on...
So what's so special about this church?
I'll let Leon...
You have some sins to confess?
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe me.
You're gonna tell me everything once we get to the cathedral. Deal?
Deal.
Handing off the controller to Dave. There it is.
Seamless.
This one.
So yeah, actually, I think if you push in, well, it might not be able to do it just yet, but yeah, there you go. You can actually switch. I think if you push in the right stick, you can switch which preference of side you want to be on.
Of course, if you do it in rapid succession, it's like she does a dance.
Yeah, disorienting. Not advised.
I just made everyone on the internet throw up.
Yeah. The interesting thing
Nice
of this
work,
is
Dave.
that Leon is the one with the light, so playing as Helena in this instance is a little darker. Yeah, the whole game's co-op, and you can choose which character you want to play as. And as with RE5, like certain areas, they kind of branch out, and
You see one of them, aim for the head. It's your best bet.
Appreciate it. Got it.
This is where the reception was gonna be. They'd all be here eating dinner right now if...
You think anyone survived?
I hope so.
in this case, since you're following Leon, since you're playing as Helena, you probably have to follow Leon to keep up with the light. But yeah, generally you kind of walk straight around this corner up here to the forward left and head down this staircase. And you'll see that marker down there, which, like a suspenseful situation is not the most mood-setting thing in the world. So in the final game, you can actually turn
The
those off
Raccoon
if you
City
want.
incident. You were one of the survivors.
I'll never forget it. We're going to this cathedral of yours. But if you really did have a hand in this, you can kiss your freedom goodbye.
I know.
I'd say every time I see every time I see this room, it reminds me of Resident Evil 1, that giant dining room.
With the ever-present clock.
Yep.
And that's really what I loved
that?
about it when they showed the demo initially, was just the idea
Only one
that
way to
it's
find
got
out.
that kind of...
Let's go.
This section feels so retro and so kind of contemporary modern RE, but yeah, it's like it hits just the right notes from the original games.
There's definitely beyond this an area we haven't shown yet, but there's an area past this in Leon's campaign that actually starts to feel really RE2. Like some really good shout-outs to RE2. They're just the tone and what's happening with Leon. It's like a really cool shout-out.
I'm excited to see those, man. All right, Randy Reed asks, do you think Wesker's son will
They
be as
went out the back.
badass as him? Brett, you already know the answer to that.
Jake is pretty damn cool, I gotta say. Like, it's hard for a new character to win me over very quickly because I'm like, you always get into like, we need a cool new character. Anybody got a cool character I can like? But Jake like won me over pretty quick. I think he will hold his own next to Wesker.
What I like about him was when I was going through the options mode playing in the demo at E3, his hands, like literally, it's like an icon of his hands instead of a pistol as a weapon choice. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
wait, his hands, they are the weapon.
he's got really cool CQC stuff.
Yeah, that I'm really looking forward to jumping into.
What?
The fog. It came out of nowhere. Liz! Wait, let me go! It's too dangerous. My daughter, she's all alone. If we don't do something...
All right, I get it. But if you don't keep it down, you won't live to save her. You understand?
Liz.
Is that your daughter? All right, let's find her.
Leon, we don't have time
We're
to...
making the time.
Because Leon's such a good guy,
That's what Mr. S. Kennedy does.
he makes time. Yeah, Helena obviously very much in a hurry to get to this cathedral. And that's obviously a big plot point for the character and for Leon's campaign. But in the meantime, Leon just can't let someone in need, let them down. So you're going to help this guy find his daughter, which, as you might
What was that
suspect,
sound?
in a zombie apocalypse.
Is probably a futile quest.
Yes. But since this is the beginning of the game, this is kind of easing you into all the control options.
As you can see, I've mastered them.
Yeah. Looks like she still doesn't have a light, so no.
Right.
Follow Duder with his flashlight here.
And hope for those not so random lightning strikes.
Yeah.
Hey, now she's got one.
Oh, cool.
Now she's got it. Oh, wait, I thought she did. It looked like I saw her turn her head and she had a flashlight. Yeah.
It seems like there's light emanating from her. Maybe that's just because she's so radiant.
Could be.
I will say one of the cooler swag items I've seen in quite a while was at E3. You guys gave out the little...
Careful, it's okay, it's okay, Dave.
Oh, I was a little scared there, sorry.
Never know what to expect around here.
So we got a couple questions from the chat room. We've got Lou MacDaddio Pattinson says, do you think Wesker himself will be making an appearance? Company Man is not going to say yes or no, so I will relieve you of that.
I will say it would be very difficult, considering he got pretty thoroughly blown up in RE5.
Yeah, but then again, so did Jason, and Jason Goes to Hell.
Come on.
But then the doctor ate his heart, and then there was that whole weird craziness.
Liz.
Yeah, but I mean, Jason didn't get, you know, lava and rocket launchers and missiles.
So it was more like a chef death from South Park.
So you'll notice this guy you've been walking around with doesn't seem to be in the best of health. But yeah, like I was saying, since this is the beginning of the game, it actually is kind of easing you into all the various control options. So when you started, you could only really walk, and then now see, here he goes.
Yeah.
He's kind of
Am I missing out?
That's just not gonna end well.
He's off in the corner.
I called her cell, but we got cut off. I know she's here somewhere.
Then as the demo goes on, you can run, and then when it gets to actual combat situation later on in the demo, it unlocks actual combat. And then for the rest of the game, you have these control options available at all times.
It's interesting. I didn't know this was
We'll need to get the elevator
game.
working to get there.
For Leon, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's locked, but I work here. I've got the keys. Once we're in, we can take my car.
Thank you. Now let's find your daughter and get out of here.
Liz? Liz, is that you?
Ominous piano playing.
Where have I heard this before? So Danilo Biohazard asks, is it possible to change the aim for the laser aim like in Resident Evil 5? Good question.
Dot versus a line, I guess. That I'm not sure. What? For the time being, I know you can change the color of the reticle, but I don't know. I don't think you can make it an actual laser sight.
Okay.
However, I think this build is not complete with how the HUD and the menus work, so I don't know if the finished version does let you do that or not. I don't think so, but I'll say 99% sure no.
All right.
But there's that 1% chance.
Oh. She seems nice. Oh, campfire.
Nope.
Just for the record, I want everyone in the chat room to know that.
He could not shoot her.
Even
if he wanted to, couldn't.
If I wanted to shoot that innocent girl, I wouldn't have.
Innocent and infected. Wait, shine your light over the bodies real quick. What are those bodies? They're not wearing a white hoodie, are they?
They are placed in an awkward situation.
Okay, go on.
Some nice sneakers there.
But yeah, now that he's grabbed his daughter, they're heading back to the elevator to get down to the parking garage since he has his car.
That way.
Have you ever been in a presidential suite?
Not recently.
It's back out the way you came.
Oh, okay.
So they're backtracking.
How do we get out of this place?
The underground parking lot. The elevator is up ahead. Hopefully it still works.
All right, Chun Lao's asking, will Leon's campaign have less ammo / less health to pick up compared to Chris's more action-packed campaign?
Let's think about that. I've played quite a bit of Leon so far. It's definitely, I'd say it's definitely akin to RE4. In the sense that, like, RE4, you always need to be mindful of your ammo. You can't just go shooting indiscriminately. But the
whoopsie daisy.
You're out of juice.
Oh wait, I can just.
Yeah, you do have to be mindful of your ammo. I don't want to say
442.
Uh-oh. That show B should get you out of there.
There we go.
There you go. Now off to the elevator with you. There are some instances, though, both in Chris and in Leon's campaign, where I actually did run out of ammo because you do not want to shoot everything. Definitely are times where it's smarter to run.
Yeah.
However, the melee combat in this is pretty substantial, so
It's going to be okay, Lizzie.
it's a solid option.
You're going to be okay.
I seem to remember having to get very stabby in certain stages of RE5.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this is
Or when I'd play a Sheva and co-op and some jerk would take all the weapons and leave me with nothing but a knife. Left me with lots of faith in my fellow human beings.
So you played Knifey Spoony before.
Oh my god.
She's already gone! Shoot her!
Rotate that stick. Rotate
that
it.
stick.
Like your life depended on it. Rotate.
I can't believe this.
Well, get used to it. It's either them or us, and they don't hesitate.
Why did this have to happen?
So a few more questions popping up in the chat room. One of them is, how's the actual diving mechanics in the game? That comes from Randy Reed. You're about to see in just a second, I think.
Grab your gun.
And Dilo Biohazard wants to know, is there any puzzles during the demo? Not from what I don't think so. What we played in
you're now out of bullets.
All right.
So you may want to run out of there. And your options at this point, with the right trigger, you can do melee, although you've also attracted a lot of attention. So there's also an option to just not. But if you get grabbed, yeah, you have to do a quick get out of there motion. And if you hit that, you actually get a free hit.
Nice.
But yeah, if you use the right stick, is where your melee attacks come in. Or if you can time it so that you stand next to them right before they attack you.
Like that.
You can actually do a counter move if you hit right trigger right before they swing at you.
Do I have to unequip my weapon to do the melee?
No,
oh.
Just right stick.
Oh, and I almost hit Leon there.
Oof.
But you also have stamina bar, so you can't just wail on the melee all the time. So, yeah. Come on, you're getting punched by a zombie. That's pretty good.
So to answer the question about the free copies of Dragon's Dogma, yeah, sorry, this is just for U.S. residents. Kind of the U.S. branch kind of put this all together.
That's our cue to
sorry, guys.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, Leon's demo for the 360, all the action is very much at the end, but it is very much an introductory level, so it's kind of just the tip of the iceberg for Leon, and what I've played of the campaign so far, it gets pretty cool pretty quick. hopefully we can show more of it. Like, we've obviously got Comic-Con and Gamescom coming up and TGS, so I'm hoping we can show more of Leon, because Leon's stuff is really cool. This is very much like a ease you in.
Let's go.
Leon, it's too late. There's nothing we can do.
So bleak.
Yeah.
It's like every scenario they set up is so bleak.
At least she's being real.
Yep.
Leon wants to help everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
I bet if he played Mass Effect, he'd do all the side
here.
missions.
Well, any good player should. You can't leave that much content on the table. So that is the end of Leon's demo.
That is the end. And now we will switch over to Mr. Redfield.
Mr. Redfield.
And his thiceps.
Biceps. His arms are a little toned down from 5. He's not as
I've noticed.
as beefy.
Yeah. Beefy.
Chris, big arms. And there's Chris and Piers Nevins, his BSAA fellow officer.
I don't know, was this an option during the E3 demo?
No,
Okay.
it was just Chris.
So I'm going to go again with the other guy just to,
Try out Pierce.
yeah, freshen things up a little.
All right. So as we have been going through all of you who have been tweeting at GamesRadar with the hashtag GR giveaways, in each one of these demos we've decided to pick out a winner. So out of that first round, the winner is at Rogex. It's Rogue, but there's an X in the middle of it. Congratulations, you have won. At the end of this, we'll be following you and we'll DM you
Another round.
to get your information so we can send this copy to you. Congratulations, Rogues.
Good job, X.
Wasn't Rogue Gex the final boss in Gex?
It was actually, I think, the spinoff. Kind of like the GoldenEye spinoff.
Hard to find a good steak around here.
Gex Force.
Not like back home.
So the RE6 begins with Chris kind of in a bad way. Drinking. He's going to yell at this lady.
Fill her up.
You've had enough.
Listen, sweetheart. You're here to pour drinks and look pretty. So how about you shut your mouth?
How about you get the hell out of my bar?
Nowhere to go.
Ej, dama vas je zamolila da odete. I said she asked you to leave.
Never thought I'd find Chris Redfield wasting away in a shithole like this.
All right, so Jake Brian Plummer asks, do characters have any different skills, or is it just for a different skin? Well, Jake for sure has distinguishable skills, but what's distinguishable in terms of Chris versus Piers?
In those cases,
How about this?
they're kind of the
You heard
same.
of this?
Okay.
Jake is pretty unique in that sense, that he has that hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
You really don't remember anything, do you?
Piers kind of veers towards sniper.
Okay.
And so his default loadout will be different.
All right.
And obviously you go in different paths and stuff. But one of the other cool things the game has is
Chris.
a skill system. So you can customize your character in a lot of different ways.
What is this?
Okay. You don't remember me? Well, how about them? Look. I said look! Those were your men. Men who died under your command. You owe it to them to remember, Chris. If you walk away now, then this was all for nothing. Enough! Damn it. 6 months of searching for you. And this is what I find. Yeah. It's where you belong. Everyone's waiting.
Everyone.
And on Twitter, we got the question from Insomniac_24_7. Will each character have their own special weapons?
Taking you back, Captain. One way or another.
Besides Pierce having the default sniper loadout.
Let's see. I think there. Yeah, definitely each campaign, each character has a default loadout that's different. So like Leon will veer towards more pistols. Jake also has pistol, but gets like a Magnum equivalent pretty quick.
Oh, nice.
Whereas Chris is a lot of automatic weapons, rifles and stuff. So now you take over his Piers. One thing you can do up here is if you look up these stairs, if you run up and push right trigger right behind this guy, wait for the prompt though. Well, he took a... Chris jumped ahead of you. You can actually shove him off the side with these. There's a lot of contextual stuff, so if you catch an enemy near a rafter or the edge, you'll do a unique, like, kind of melee move. That can save ammo, which is, even in this campaign, pretty important.
So this is the first time we've gone from Leon with the zombies to the Javos.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the Javo?
Well, for some reason it's Juavo.
It's Juavo?
I don't know where the U comes in, but...
I just thought it was Javo.
That tenement
Me
building
too.
up ahead is
coffee.
the Ace of Spades.
So it's Juavo.
Yeah.
The UN staff that have been taken hostage are inside.
So yeah.
Proceed with extraction.
So yeah, the regular zombies that you saw with Leon's campaign are kind of just your run-of-the-mill zombie. Occasionally run a little quicker, occasionally they're holding a crowbar or something. But the Juavo actually mutate depending on where you shoot them. So, as you'll see as we move ahead, Dave is missing all the action. But yeah, the Juavo will, if you shoot their legs out, their legs will mutate and they'll turn into some crazy monster. But if you shoot their arm off, their arm will then mutate and turn into a giant club or claw or something. Or if you shoot their head, something happens. So every time you shoot them, something slightly different can... Well, not literally every time you shoot them, but...
there's variants.
A lot of variance there, yeah. So there's a reason... There's actually a strategic reason why you would want to shoot one at a certain time. Because shooting the legs out in this demo, at least, makes these flying bat things that are awful.
Yeah, I saw those.
They will just murder
Things aren't
you.
going too well over at the Three of Diamonds. They need you down there. Roger that.
Like in 4 boxes.
Oh yes, a lot of boxes and crates. So there you picked up the skill points, and what those do, I mentioned earlier, is like so the ladder will be behind to the left a bit. Yeah, there you go. The skill points you have. We haven't gone into this fully yet, but you'll be able to customize your character to a degree with like various stat boosts that carry over from campaign to campaign, so you can somewhat tailor your character to a certain playstyle. But I think we'll go into more of that probably a little later in the year. It's like, yeah, that guy, if you shoot his legs out, for example, and he's just gonna die, it looks like. Yeah, so now to the right, you now have a big problem because this guy is mutated into a flying bat monster that is really a big bullet sponge, so I'd actually recommend not fighting it. Whereas if you shoot them in the arm, they'll do a different kind of mutation. A lot of different stuff can happen. It just makes the battlefield get pretty nuts pretty quick.
Oh boy,
so now you see him stunned. If you run up...
Oh, I thought he was going to grow something out of that.
Yeah, when you see them stunned, just like RE4 or 5, you want to get in close. See, Chris kind of ran up and took care of them. But yeah, you definitely don't want to just sit and play it like a cover shooter. You'll run out of ammo real quick, and also probably get sideswiped a lot. But as with RE4 and 5, if you see him stunned, you want to run up and like do one of those melee moves, or like when Leon would do a big roundhouse or something.
So are the other teammates, are they like co-op partners? Can they die at certain points?
These other dudes I think are there for like flavor.
Okay.
I think some of them die as part of an event or something. But generally speaking, so like there you go. There's a... Yeah, from here you want to just head up on this ramp to the left, and head over this way. So, yeah, Chris's campaign with Chris and Piers is definitely running rooftop to rooftop, shooting bad guys, zombies, Juavo. Because this full-out outbreak has happened in China, Longshan. And when a whole city goes monster crazy, it turns into a war zone pretty quick. This is an example of when you're playing co-op, so the other player playing Chris has to get across this pole while Piers needs to cover him.
I spawned so many bat people during E3 at this part because I didn't know.
Yeah, definitely you want to avoid the legs as much. It's very tempting to shoot them in the legs because they'll just go down, but then you got to deal with this crazy bat monster. And I've seen things turn into all kinds of weird stuff. I assume I'd seen all these mutations, and then all of a sudden this dude grows like 8 legs, and I'm really freaked out.
So we've got 2 questions in the chat room from Danilo Biohazard and Jake Brian Plummer regarding inventory. So is the inventory limited? Are we looking at the suitcase?
Actually, Dave, if you want to hit the Y button, there's your main inventory. It is finite. You do run out of space, but it's generally a little more forgiving than it's not like RE5 where you had this stuff beforehand, or RE4 where you have to manage a case. But also if you hit up and down on the D-pad, you can see like left or right on the D-pad, I guess. You can see your guns versus things like first aid and but yeah, it is finite. He may not have an actual sniper rifle. Well, I guess that is it. Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. If you actually hold down B at this point, you home in on where your partner is.
When I'm in the sniper rifle?
No, just anytime.
Oh.
It lets you see where your partner is. So Chris is over there. So this is a co-op moment where the game is split. So you'd want to be covering Chris so he can get to where he's going. And you may have mutated that guy.
Whoopsie daisy.
It happens.
Oh, turn on the thermals. Let's see that.
How do I do that?
Once you're zoomed in, hit Y.
HQ to Bravo.
Oh, there we go.
Alpha needs to move out to Ace of Spades. Can you relieve them?
So
because I'm hoping you're gonna we get to see in thermal vision if you accidentally mutate a guy.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, does the thermal vision does that work with zombies? Since I don't know, they technically don't have blood, right?
Well, they're not. These guys aren't technically zombies.
But I mean, if you run into,
I don't know. Piers Chris one is very much like what I've played so far is a lot of Juavo and a lot of other enemies that we've kind of alluded to, the chrysalids, which is a whole other thing. But definitely one of the key themes with both the chrysalids and the Juavo is like mutations. Things so it's not identical every time you play it. And this is, obviously one of those checkpoint doors as with RE5 where you wait for your partner to catch up.
Also, is it possible to trade items with partners?
That I actually don't know. I haven't played enough co-op to find out.
Can you do it with the AI, or is it?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if you stand next to them if it prompts something or not. Chris might be on kind of autopilot.
There's part of me that says, I hope so, and then there's part of me that thinks, well... I asked one of the developers during E3, I was like, oh, hey, there's the arm thing.
Yeah, so that guy's got his arm shot off. And the best part is, if you shoot his other arm off, he'll just grow another one.
Oh.
So they'll come at you with 2 arms. This is a case where I wouldn't waste the ammo, because these guys will just chew you up.
I'm also out of ammo, so that isn't...
All right.
So turn around and run.
Run. A lot. Yeah, one of the things I'd asked was, what about a scenario where I'm going to be left unarmed and left to die because the guy whose game I jumped into is a complete jerk, and they said, no, we found ways to deal with that. So that's relieving to hear.
Guess it's just the 2 of us then.
It's also if, well, you're out of ammo again, but one thing you can do is if you hit L and R at the same time, you do like a quick fire, there you go. So now that he's stunned, push right trigger when it's prompting you, and he'll do like a finishing move.
So Konichiwa asks, are there any co-op moves you can perform while in CQC? It's a good question.
There are definitely team up stuff, but I actually haven't seen them because again I haven't played enough co-op to really see the full scope of that. I just finally got a build at work that lets me do that. You can definitely chain moves together at least, like as with Mercenaries 3D or RE5, like moves lead into each other, but I don't know the full scope of it. But I know there are like goals at the end of levels. You get like little tallies, and they definitely mention like perform a co-op move with your partner. So some manner of it is in there.
Grab the ace of spades.
Boy, there sure are a lot of red barrels around here.
Yeah, this looks like you might have some kind of last
Bravo
stand.
team has been dispatched to assist with search and rescue.
So
Stand by for
our lucky
instructions.
winner, Rogex.
Good. I needed a break.
No, his actual name's Justin Forsyth. Congrats, Justin. Wanted to know, is there a way to kill the big QTE prompt screens, like to change it to the button and not have the icon?
We've been spotted. They're right on top of us.
That I assume it's probably just the way it is.
Yeah.
Like this waggle, because it'll change. Sometimes it's waggle a stick. Sometimes it's push a button. Sometimes it's right trigger at this specific time.
Wow.
When the blue the blue icon is there.
Get to the ace of spades on the double.
So there you go. And they also have different melee moves depending on which weapon you have equipped. It's like if you had a knife, you'd do one thing. If you had a gun,
Keep your panties on, everyone.
Alpha team here. Roger that. Do what we can until you get here.
A little bit too close.
So at this point, you're just holding out until help can arrive. But yeah, see, that's a case where now he's stunned. You'd want to run up.
So are the Juavo sensitive to the light? Is that what it is with the masks, where they kind of freak out when they're stunned and you wreck
I think
their
they're
masks?
actually. I think it's more. I don't know the exact reason, but what I've gathered is that their faces are just all screwed up.
Yeah.
So they're just putting on masks maybe to hide that. There might be a story reason I haven't got to yet.
They're really self-conscious.
Yeah.
I was assuming.
They just don't want their family members to know they're in a gang.
We have now mutated into these six-eyed horrible mutations.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. You just meleeed the arm thingy. Nice work, Dave.
So another key thing with RE6 as far as combat goes is the whole running and sliding thing. So like if you hold down A and run
How many of these assholes do we have to kill?
and hit L,
Where the hell?
the left trigger, you actually start sliding.
Nice.
But that lets you like trip up enemies and make them stun so that you can get in and do those CQC moves.
So for those of you asking in the chat room what you have to tweet to get a chance to win a copy, the answer is hashtag GR giveaways. And tweet it at
Choose your
GamesRadar.
targets and let's finish this.
Oh, we got a double arm there.
And another one. So you can also stay on the ground, which sometimes is good because, like, for example, those mutated Juavo there, their swinging is actually chest level. So if you're on the ground, he'll actually totally whiff, which lets you get in.
All BOWs have been eliminated. Alpha team, help Bravo team get the civvies out of there.
So yeah, Dave, how do you feel about the responsiveness of being able to switch to prone combat? That was a question about prone combat. I felt like it was pretty good when I played it during E3.
Yeah, actually, I didn't take advantage of this sweet move here. I mean,
it's both stylish and useful.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Mega Man how you can jump through doors. I think that'll be my default method of movement.
Just slide.
Just jump with your hands out and a smile on your face.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is Chris's. And again, yeah, the three different tones for each campaign is... This is very much like a sampler plate of each campaign. So like Leon is a bit more deliberate and slow-paced. Definitely has his action moments, but generally more like RE4. And Chris is very much stuck in the middle of this big escalating fight that's going on inside of China. So his is going to be a lot more explosions and big things and big set-piece moments. I can do this one, actually, if you...
Yes, because actually at E3, I died right away
Me
the first time I tried
too.
it.
So yeah, Jake and Sherry are both... Sherry Birkin from RE2, now all growed up. And then Jake Mueller, the son of Albert Wesker.
His hands are a weapon.
A weapon. Jake is pretty cool.
Anyway, so now that we finished the Chris demo, we'd like to announce our winner. Our winner is... I hope I get this right. Hestar69 or Hestar69. Congratulations. We will be following you so that you can DM us your mailing address. You've won a copy of Dragon's Dogma for Xbox 360. Congrats.
And by proxy, access to this demo. So Jake and Sherry, Sherry actually finds Jake as a mercenary, and it's revealed that his blood may be the key to stopping the outbreak that's happened. He should be infected and is not, so there's something mysterious with his blood, and she needs his help as someone who's actually got some interesting blood of her own, coming from the Birkin family. They have a similar interest and similar, you know, they're paired up for a reason.
Yeah.
And this demo begins with Jake and Sherry on the run from this Ustanak character. But she's trying to get him out because if they lose him, they may lose everything.
Eat this.
I'm so glad you're driving this part of the demo.
Yeah, the demo, it's not entirely clear. You need to start running immediately. So
Thanks for the warning.
if you're watching this and haven't played it yet, definitely as soon as the cutscene's over, you want to be holding down A. But Jake is definitely about set pieces and some action, but again, all three campaigns have their tone, but still all three also veer into horror elements.
Okay.
Even Leon has some action moments, but Jake definitely has moments where it's a little creepy or a little slower. But this demo is very much run, 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 shoot, 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 shoot. So it begins with running away from Ustanak.
Son of a bitch, he's strong!
That was where I died.
Yep, it's pretty unforgiving.
You do not want to get swung on by the Ustanak. It is a one-hit kill when you're running.
Yeah, which is kind of a Resident Evil throwback. Resident Evil bosses historically are very much just kick your ass constantly. 6 definitely still true.
Always something with women!
And this guy will definitely be dogging Jake a lot. Very much like Nemesis did back in the day.
What the hell is that thing?
He's tracking us. Well.
So yeah, now we have control of Jake. See if I can.
You don't want to pick up a herb that's been in the bathroom.
Don't I? So another case like as an RE5 send someone to a separate place. And you know, you'd find different stuff up there, different reason to go. But then when you play as Sherry yourself, you get to see what's up there. I'll slightly deviate from the course here a little bit. And go off to the side because if you can time this right, it's kind of a cool attack you can do to this dude. Wow, it's dark.
So again, if you guys have any questions, by all means, either you can hit us up on Twitter at GamesRadar or within the chat room if you're in the chat room watching the stream.
Wow, this is really dark.
Or if you're dazzled by the dulcet tones of all of us.
There we go. So yeah, sliding, you can flip around.
You can flip around after you slide?
Yeah, you can get on the ground like this and roll. Like there's just a lot of quick movement options. You can slide, immediately turn up and run back the other way, although he's stuck to the wall there. But all three characters have that ability, which is pretty fun.
Look, we can get out there.
This place looks like it's gonna collapse too. Somebody ought to call the building inspector.
Yeah. It's colder in here than it was.
The comedy stylings of John McClane.
Roger.
These assholes have anything better to do?
Chat room says he's down.
So,
hey, should we stop moving for a sec or something? Sorry.
But yeah, so it's obviously telling me to go this way, but since I know what happens there, it's actually trigger the boss battle. So I'll take a look around. You can actually clear out the room a bit, look for hidden items such as herbs, which will obviously be very important when fighting a boss, but also kick down things like this ladder, so when the boss is in here and just tearing up everything, you can get around a little easier. Just rewarding you for taking your time and kind of looking around. Take cover on this wall. Actually see that there's a... That's an example of like stunning the guy. Uh-oh, where'd he go?
You don't see the DDTs, nothing. Action games.
It's really not. It's a woefully underused finisher in action games.
Worked for Jake the Snake.
It sure did. In fact, somebody should just go next level.
So another example of
oh yes.
Pick this guy up and just throw him.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, Dave, I think we need more Arn Anderson brain busters as finishers.
Totally.
In games. Sorely needed.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Exactly.
Another cool thing is if you hit ledges while already running, you'll actually do like kind of a quick run or quick hop over them instead of taking the slow kind of deliberate jump up. So here he'll just whoop, just do it. And going up there, okay, if you didn't notice, I grabbed basically the Magnum equivalent of the Elephant Killer, which is very useful fighting this boss.
Also has an outstanding name.
Yeah. I trying to want to find another guy to shoot here just to show off how these quick zap combos. So like if you hit L and R together, you do just kind of a quick fire, which is an easy way to stun an enemy. And it uses just like one bullet, but I can hear him breathing. Well, I'm sure it'll happen naturally.
Where are you, Stinek?
I know where he is. But so I guess I can just show this off really quick. But yeah, if you play as Jake, you can actually switch to melee and get on the ground and do some kicking. But generally speaking, a lot of the big combat options in this are obviously have this view, but sliding, flip around, face the other way. You can slide, immediately turn back and run the other direction. Roll forward into this, which is very useful, and roll on the ground. Because a lot of enemies in this game are built around hitting you waist level. So if you're on the ground, crawl forward, crawl back. It's very useful just to get out of harm's way really quickly, and then you can dash back out of there. There's a guy. So like, here's one I can maybe try to like slide into him, which made him stun. Uh-oh. Oh, that's Sherry got her stun gun out.
All right.
Nice. All right, so let's move on and trigger this boss.
We understand some of you guys are having some technical difficulties with the stream. We apologize for that, but you're with us now, and that's the most important thing.
It's the most important thing ever.
I like seeing the prone characters crawl forward. It kind of
it's weird.
It's reminiscent of a dog on a carpet. I don't want to be too more graphic than that, but.
So as a boss battle, Ustanak is obviously
just have to get over it.
Rather challenging. Oh, whoa! This may be the end of me. So yeah, if he grabs you in true RE fashion, if Sherry doesn't get over here and save me. So luckily, yeah.
Thanks, Sherry.
That can really be the end of you very quickly. So the bit here is you want to like lure him around. But yeah, see like there, a quick dodge gets you out of the way of his kind of grapple arm. Okay. So I'm gonna like try to lead him on this obstacle course up here. Get out of the way.
I must say, seeing Ustanek with his grapple arm kind of has me hoping he's in some sort of crossover fighting game in the
little
near future.
MBC3 starring Ustanek.
Yeah.
That didn't seem to do anything. Come on, you.
Boom.
Smash him while I'm at it. Hopefully he's not too terribly close. Oh god, he's right there.
Yep.
Do something.
He's coming right for us.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of there. Where did he go? Oh, he's gone back down there. And tearing up the level.
So since you kick down the ladders, it'll take them longer to get up?
No, that just means it's easier for you to get around.
Oh.
Because otherwise you'd have, like, there's only certain parts you can actually access this upper level, but since I've got the ladders, okay, he clearly knows where to go now.
So just to reiterate one more time, we have one more copy of Dragon's Dogma, which also includes the demo that you're watching right now. Don't forget to hashtag GRGiveaways on Twitter. And be in the United States. Sorry, everybody else.
Oh, this was poorly timed.
Yeah, she's looking real close to that barrel.
Is there friendly fire?
I think you can maybe turn it off or on. Again, it's one of those co-op things I haven't... Oh god, get down. Maybe time to switch to the big gun.
What's wrong, asshole? Losing your nerve?
So, Cody L73 says that's a big dead guy. Observation. Konichiwa wants to know, do some characters move faster than others? I almost feel like I shouldn't be asking these technical questions while you have this huge-ass monster trying to kill you.
So right there, that's a great example of getting out of the way of the arm, because it literally is a one-hit kill if your partner doesn't save you in time. That also concludes the demo.
Huzzah.
But that character, Ustanok, like, is persistent, much in a kind of an homage to Nemesis to a degree. Like, he's always on your case, chasing Jake and Sherry. But Jake is probably one of the harder demos because it just throws you right into this boss situation. But definitely your Resident Evil boss memories, which are don't just shoot at it and, you know, face stare it down, because that's generally not how most of them have worked. You have to, like, kind of run around and kind of lure them into a place that's advantageous for you. And as always, use the red barrels. But yeah, a lot of movement options that aren't immediately apparent, like the rolling, the sliding, but it actually plays in a very key point of the gameplay, because the temptation there is to play, you know, cover shooter or use a lot of the guns. But even Chris, you want to mix it up a bit and use the melee attacks a lot, because even in RE4, the power of just using one bullet, kick, and then knife them when they're down to conserve the ammo, because you can run out of ammo pretty quick.
Right on. So we have our last copy of Dragon's Dogma to give away. And the final recipient is Comeback Kid 2014. Congratulations, you won our copy of Dragon's Dogma. So that's the RE6 demo. We're looking at, what, October 2nd?
October 2nd.
Bumped up from November.
Nice.
All for our gaming pleasure.
And yeah, the demo does come to PSN in September as well, early September.
Awesome. So keep an eye out for that, you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for coming by, Brett.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
And we're signing off. And stay tuned for more RE6 coverage at GamesRadar.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, and OXM Online. And maybe a podcast this week that you'll be on.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And you can also, of course, check out Capcom Unity for RE6 and other Capcom-related products. And shenanigery. That's not a word.
I love shenanigans. It's my favorite alcoholic drink. Jeez.
Yeah, it's good.
Shenanigans.
Made it all up. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.